Regional Championships. I'm Ray C. This is Eric Gansman.
Hello.
And we are here to bring you round number 13.
Yeah, we've got a really good match for you guys. Two of probably the best players in North America, if not the world. We have Sam Chen, who I'm sure everyone knows if you're watching the stream. Got top 8 at Worlds last year. He's playing Gardevoir, and he's going up against Jon Eng, who's one of the best recently aged up seniors. He is playing Greninja. So it's definitely a Greninja favored matchup, especially because Sam doesn't play the Giratina promo, but I think this will be a good game. I'm really excited to watch it.
Yeah, I think this is a matchup we saw a little bit before. I believe Pablo was playing Gardevoir and somebody else was playing the Greninja. And it kind of came down to like prize trading and stuff, and there was like a game where Frogadiers were prized and the Gardevoir was just able to kill the Greninjas, and then since the Frogadiers were prized, it kind of just they couldn't set up more Greninjas, and the Gardevoir kind of steamrolled there.
Yeah.
And then the next game, Greninja was able to just set up, get multiple like giant water shurikens, and do its thing. And then game 3 it didn't happen.
Yeah, I think if Greninja sets up, it's definitely favored. Shadow stitching and just not Gardevoir not being able to turn off giant water shuriken just eventually will make Greninja just out-trade Gardevoir in the late game. But yeah, like you said, if Frogadiers are prized, or if, he gets off to a really bad start, which, Greninja is definitely known for, it's not known to be the most consistent deck in the format. So if something like that happens, Sam can definitely pull it out. And Sam is a good enough player to make that happen. So yeah, I'm sure he'll capitalize.
Last night I was talking to Sam and Pablo and all of them, and they were considering Greninja at one point, because, I mean, they consider everything at some point. And they came to the conclusion that Greninja beats itself more often than anything else actually beats it.
Yeah, it lost a little bit of consistency in the standard format with the loss of Dive Ball. People are trying to make up with it with Evo Sodas. I'm not sure if he plays Wally or anything like that. It does not look like it. It looks like he just plays Max Ultra Ball and Max Evo Soda, which is a really good adaptation without dive balls in the format. But yeah, it's still one of those decks that if you draw well, you're probably going to do well as long as you don't hit, Golisopod. But if not, then Greninja is just going to pass until it loses. Yeah.
One thing to note is that Jon is playing Espeon EX. I mean, that seems pretty standard in Greninja, but if he's able to get, say, 60 damage onto multiple Curliers with, like, Giant Water Shuriken or something, and they're evolved from a rare candy, you could devolve the Gardevoirs into the Curliers, and then since you have 60 damage on the Ralts or whatnot, they would just get knocked out.
That'll be really important, you're right. If Sam doesn't know that Jon plays Espeon and he uses the rare candies like you said, that would be really fatal late game. Because I don't think Espeon is too standard, unless this tournament has proved me wrong. And maybe it's made a breakout here. But yeah, that could definitely be a decisive card for sure. Another interesting thing is he actually decided to play a Tapu Lele as well, which is something that you don't see in Greninja often. It's known as like the one deck that doesn't play Tapu Lele. It's like the budget deck of the format. So it's really interesting that he chose to play Tapu Lele because it's such a bad starter in this deck. And he has a lot of bad starters in his deck now that I look at it. He's running a lot of tech Pokemon, so hopefully he starts with a Froakie for his sake.
Yeah, I mean, we actually saw a Greninja deck yesterday that played no Tapu Lele, and they Ultra Balled early game. Obviously, no Tapu Lele were in the deck, so they had none to get. They didn't have a supporter, and they just kind of died.
Yeah,
that just kind of happened.
That's one of the things that Tapu Lele really helps with in this deck, and that's why Greninja can be so inconsistent. So I do like the adaptation of Jon playing the Tapu Lele just to help with his consistency. I think he's realized that Greninja's issue is that it's so inconsistent, and he's really tried to do everything in his power in his deck list to make sure that, that isn't the case. He's not dead drawing. So it's working out well for him. He's undefeated currently. So
yeah.
Oh, and the round has begun.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's not a good starter.
I mean, he chose to start that, though, right? Over the Froakie?
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not sure why he I wasn't watching. Did Sam mulligan maybe? That might be why.
There was some type of discussion before the game where I think Jon might have misplaced the wrong Pokemon because he didn't have the Froakie. He only had the Tapu Fini active, flipped over, upside down, obviously. And then he later tried to bench the Froakie or something like that. I'm not 100% sure what happened. There's definitely some discussion before the game started. That's why they started a little bit later.
Definitely an unfortunate starter for him. I don't see any float stones in his list, so he's going to have to manually retreat that. It only has 1 retreat cost, but it's just you don't really want to start Tapu Fini. Froakie is obviously your preferred starter. You just want to get that turn 2 water duplicates ASAP.
Yeah. I mean, you could Aqua Ring out of it. Like, you could Aqua Ring into a Froakie if you want to, but then you run the risk of Candy Gardevoir into Infinity to just knock it out. It only has 60 HP, right? So 2 energies is just pretty easy to hit for Gardevoir if they can get the turn 2 Candy Guardy.
Yeah. So it looks like Sam's going for the Bridget on turn 1. I would expect it. He was flashing it earlier. I don't think he's declared it yet, but it would be the obvious and probably correct play. I'm interested to see what he goes for. I think Sylveon is probably the correct play here. In Sam's case, without Giratina promo, his real strategy to win is to use Parallel City and Plea GX on the same turn to limit his opponent's bench to 1 and just reset his board, basically. So that's something that I think he's going to go for, and it looks like he is, just grabbing 2 Ralts and an Eevee from that Bridget.
Yeah, and we actually saw Pablo Mesa do that yesterday against Jimmy Pendarvis. He used the Parallel City, limited the bench to 3, and then Plea GX'd away both fully powered up Volcanions, getting rid of all the energy on Jimmy's board.
Yeah, it's a really strong attack. Eevee and Sylveon, I guess, saw a little bit of play at the World Championships. Not a ton. I think Mike Fouché might have played it in his list that made day 2. But it didn't see too much play until the standard format, really, when we lost VS Seeker and a lot of other consistency cards. And people just realized, Sylveon offers so much to Gardevoir. And Parallel Plea, that combination really helps you beat your bad matchups. It gives you, like, a winning chance against Metagross, Greninja, a Vika Bulu, although that's probably a good matchup anyways for Gardevoir. But, yeah, it's a really strong combination. I love that it's been adapted into so many lists currently.
Yeah, and it looks like Sam here, he gets a turn 1 Bridget, like you said, attaches a DCE to the Ralts. If he attaches it to the active, I would think that means he's not afraid of it getting knocked out, but he attaches to the bench. So maybe he's a little bit of afraid of some way that Jon is going to have to knock it out. I'm not really sure.
Greninja doesn't really have many tools for the early... Oh, okay, I thought he just passed. Okay, he's Brooklet Hill. But yeah. That was really scary for a second. But yeah, Greninja doesn't really have many ways to start attacking early game. You don't really put on pressure with any attackers until turn 3 at the earliest with your Greninjas. But it's usually like turn 4 around when Greninja will start attacking, especially this game, unless he's able to retreat into his Froakie and get his Frogadiers going. But I'm surprised that Sam either chose not to evolve the Eevee into Sylveon this turn. He had the Fairy Energy in hand, or attach it to the active Ralts, because you're going to want to start attacking as soon as possible in this game, just to start getting pressure off, because you really need to put on the pressure as Gardevoir, because you're going to lose the late game if they ever get, their Greninja breaks out. So I'm surprised he didn't do that. Maybe he's trying to go for a Guzma play, but I don't see one in his hand, so I'm not sure why he didn't evolve his Sylveon there, but I'm sure he knows something that I don't. So
yeah, I mean, there's a chance that he has a Float Stone or something. He just wants to maybe Float Stone the Ralts that's in the active position, retreat, something like that. Or he just plans on not attacking with Ralts next turn. Like, there's a chance you don't hit Gardevoir, and then you have the Ralts active with the DCE, and now your opponent can evolve into the Greninjas if they want to, and then there's a chance it gets knocked out that way. I think it's just fine to make sure that it's protected.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see how it plays out for him and see if his strategy works. But in the meantime, Jon used Brooklet Hill, got himself another Froakie, to basically prevent himself from getting benched in any sort, so he can get a Frogadier next turn. He's going to Ultra Ball. He had to get rid of a Break and a Greninja, so that's annoying for Jon. He's not going to appreciate that, so I'm sure he had some other resources in his hand that he didn't want to discard, and he's just going to end and get a new hand.
Yeah, both players getting end to 6. Sam is going to be looking for Rare Candy Gardevoir off of this, plus another supporter. Jon is just going to be looking for more Froakies, maybe an energy to attach this turn, and more importantly, Greninja.
Yeah, the most important card for Jon to hit is an energy, because he needs to be able to hit 2 energy, basically, to be able to put one on Fini and then one on the Frogadier next turn. So it's really crucial for him to hit energy off this end. And I believe I saw one in his hand. So
yeah.
Looking at Sam's hand, he's got Rare Candy, 2 Fairy, Kirlia, Choice Band, and an N. So doesn't really seem like we'll have an explosive turn next turn. I'm not sure what else Jon is doing, so I think it's probably safe to just move on to Sam. I don't think Jon has much left. So yeah, I think Sam is just going to have a pretty slow turn. I'm not sure how he's going to be able to attack, and I think that's pretty bad for him because he's losing some tempo. And if, like I said, if Greninja gets set up, oh, he does have a float stone. Okay, so he could potentially get an attack off this turn if he wanted to.
I think Sam moving it to the other Froakie, he's like, no.
He didn't like that Froakie.
He didn't like it. The same thing. Sam's actually a really fun player to play against.
Absolutely.
He's very charismatic, very quirky.
Yeah.
Just all around a
great guy.
Great guy. More importantly, he's an entertaining person.
Yeah. Great player and an entertainer. What more can you ask for? So let's see. I wonder which Ralts he's probably going to evolve. I don't think he'll evolve the Ralts on the bench because I think he really wants to get the rare candy Gardevoir if possible. So I think he'll probably evolve one of the other two Ralts into a Curlia. Maybe put a Floatstone on the Curlia as well.
Oh, he's going to Brooklet Hill, search his deck. He doesn't play any Pokemon that he could get off of Brooklet Hill, but he just wants to search his deck. Does he? Yeah, he could get Remoraid.
Yeah, he can
right. There it is. We see it.
Looks like Octillery might be prized, though.
Very smart from Sam to recognize that he can use the Brooklet Hill.
Yep.
It is a stadium, so both players can use it. And if he wants to, he can get the Remoraid. If the Octillery is prized, I mean, it doesn't really matter. He's an N. Either way, he gets to search his deck.
Yeah, I believe I saw it actually in his second shuffle through, so it might be in there. We'll see. But yeah, I think he'll evolve either the active or the bench Curlia, and then probably N. It didn't look like he had much else in his hand.
Yeah, he didn't have the Gardevoir, so he won't be able to rare candy Gardevoir this turn. He wants to attach the Floatstone for sure. Attaches to the Eevee. Does he use? He does not use Energy Evolution.
Oh, wow.
What is going on here? What?
His Sylveons must be prized.
Or he wants to use the Eevee's attack?
Does he not have a supporter?
I think
I thought I saw a supporter in his hand. Yeah, he doesn't have a supporter. That's why he went for Eevee's quick attack to try to draw another card.
You lied to me.
I know. I'm sorry. But Jon has the ideal hand here. He had everything he needed. He had the other energy. He had a Frogadier. Jon is in a great position. As long as all of his Froakies aren't prized, it's hard to really see. Although he has filled up his bench considerably, so he can only water duplicates for 2 more. Although he does have another Froakie that he can evolve into a Frogadier. I couldn't tell from his deck how many he had prized, but I'm sure we'll see in a second when he goes for the water duplicates.
Yeah. And Sam, if he had Sylveon in his deck, he could have used the Energy Evolution and then used the Magical Ribbon to search for 3 cards that he wanted, put them in his hand, and help his setup. But prizing the Sylveon is absolutely devastating. If he doesn't find a supporter this next turn, there's a chance that Jon completely sets up and starts evolving into the Greninjas and just steamrolls Sam.
Yeah. Well, he did get a Gallade off the top deck, so he's not in an awful position. He can start taking knockouts this turn by just... Oh, no, Eevee has 2 retreat, so he can't start taking knockouts. This is... Oh, I guess he can attach to it and retreat, but that's unfortunate. You have to waste 2 energy to retreat.
You need to play a supporter for Gallade to do more damage.
Oh, you're right, yeah. Wait, doesn't it do 70 base or is it 60 base? I forget.
I believe it is 60 base, so he needs to find a supporter
Yeah.
off this premonition so he can put it to the top so he can guarantee himself a play for next turn.
So he could put Octillery on top and then draw into the N that's also in there, which I think I would do, just so you guarantee that you have both. Yeah, because he can definitely get his hand down. So he's going to figure out what he wants to draw off the Octillery. That's definitely going to be his top card. I would be surprised if he put anything else on top. Gardevoir's in there too, so I think the 2 cards that you really want to draw are the Gardevoir and the N. But it doesn't look like he's putting the Octillery on top. He decides to put the N instead, and it looks like he's just going to play it safe and maybe quick draw again.
Yeah, I mean, if he hits heads, he gets to draw a card, which is, I mean... obviously not that great.
Yeah, I don't know why he saved the choice band, besides for the Feeny and Lele, which I think Sam will try to take prizes off of just to accelerate the game.
He is not happy with that dice.
Yeah, not liking the coin flips. But yeah, I think it's smart to get the choice band down just because if you get end, you just don't want to draw it again. Ooh, and an enhanced hammer comes down.
Yeah, we've seen this a lot from either Greninja or Volcanion, where they're playing Enhanced Hammer specifically to help their Gardevoir matchup.
Yeah, that's really strong. It's going to set Sam back at least one turn because he didn't put the Gardevoir on top, it looked like. It looked like it was the N. So he's going to have to get a Gardevoir and then just start Secret Springing to get some more energy in play. So I'm really not liking Sam's position here. It looks like he prized both the Sylveons, which is really bad. Didn't put the Octillery on top, so he's not going to have as many resources next turn as he could have. And Jon has everything that he needs. He's got Frogadiers going. He doesn't have a supporter, but, you know, in this position, what more do you need? Like, Greninja is fine sitting back and waiting if your opponent isn't attacking you. So I love my position if I'm in Jon's spot.
Yeah, but the Glade can actually start knocking out these Frogadiers now, and if you don't set up Greninjas, you're kind of floundering here. Like you said, he doesn't have a supporter, so he has no way of getting access to the Greninjas currently. And if Sam finds a DCE, plays a supporter, he can attack with the Glade this turn and start taking knockouts.
He has to attach another energy to EV to retreat. It is to retreat.
Oh, so he'd have to find a Floatstone on top of a double colorless energy off of 6 cards.
But he already attached the fairy to the Kirlia, so looks like he's just resigned to not attacking again this turn. So
I like this a lot. He knows that Jon needs to set up, and once Jon sets up, he has an advantage. So he can just oh, there we go. There's the high five. I talked about that earlier, where the Juniper for no cards in hand.
Oh, yeah.
You always high five. I guess you do it with N2.
I think Jon was more just happy that his hand was being reset because they both had a bad hand. So I think he was just grateful there. But yeah, high five after Sycamore or Juniper is definitely a tradition in Pokemon. Let's see what Sam gets off of
that. Does not look like a rare candy Gardevoir.
Well, he does have a Gardevoir, so he can evolve the Kirlia. He doesn't have rare candies, which, you know, like we were talking about earlier, that's not a bad thing because of Espeon EX. So it might not be a bad idea for him to just slowly evolve manually if he has another Kirlia in his deck. He did use the rare candy already on the Gallade.
Yeah,
so.
He does play 2 Kirlias, so that is an option for Sam.
Yep.
If he is able to find the Kirlia, which is most likely what he's going to go for here.
Or Artillery. He might go for more draw just to put more cards into his hand. But I'm not sure. Both options would be fair plays.
If he wanted to go for Artillery, couldn't he have put it on the top of the deck earlier and then...
That's what I thought, and he just chose not to do it. So I'm not sure exactly. It looks like he's having a discussion with the judge.
I think it might be how he played his cards. I'm not sure. Maybe it looked a little bit awkward to the judge.
Yeah, everything looked fine to me from play-wise, but maybe it was just, maybe it was that. So I think because he didn't put the Octillery on the top of his deck, like you said, Kirlia is his most likely target. But he goes for the Octillery. Okay.
Yeah, there's the Octillery. It's going to come down here. Its abysmal hand ability will allow Sam to go up to 5 cards. Hopefully he draws the Kirlia. If not the end of the world. He can Premonition before he does it, so he can kind of manipulate what he's going to draw.
Yeah, I don't believe he's used his Premonition yet, so... Yep, there we go.
All right, we're going to see Premonition here. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Rearrange them in any order you want.
He decided to take them off screen. Can't really see, unfortunately, but we'll find out in a sec what they were.
Yeah, we saw a rare candy.
Yeah.
There's already one in the hand, so you definitely don't need that.
Yeah. Fairy Energy, Sycamore, that was all I could see.
Yeah.
Acerola.
Sam, okay, looks like Sam is going to draw. Yep, here's the Abysmal hand. He draws Candy Gardevoir. He's going to do that this turn, get a second Gardevoir onto the field.
So he's going to get attacking this turn, which is definitely good for him.
Yeah, this Infinity Force is going to do 90 damage.
Definitely enough to knock out Frogadier. So now he just needs to hope that Jon can't get multiple Greninjas in play this turn. If he can get double Greninja and another Frogadier out, and just with a Splash Energy, then he can basically just recycle Greninjas for the rest of the game. Once he starts Shadow Stitching, Octillery is going to be shut off, Gardevoir is going to be shut off, Gallade's going to be shut off. So Greninja is really going to have the advantage. Sam hasn't been able to press his advantage in the early game. He really had a slow start. So Yeah, Sam takes the first prize, but I still think Jon is in a really strong position as he top decks a Greninja. Can't get a better top deck than that.
True, but he cannot evolve into the break this turn,
Yeah.
which is some saving grace for Sam.
Oh, okay. So he decides to discard the Espeon. So he must play a Rescue Stretcher. Yep, he plays 1 Rescue Stretcher, 1 Super Rod. So he knows he has those resources to get that back. So he goes for another Greninja. Maybe he can go for another Frogadier this turn if he has the means to do it with an Evo Soda or an Ultra Ball, unless it's prized. Yeah, he didn't get the splash, though. He decided to put a water on Feeny, which does make sense. Feeny will help shuffle in Gardevoir's with its GX attack to reset a giant Gardevoir, which is how you one-shot Greninja. So I do like that play, putting it on there. I do wish he had gotten a splash, though, just so he could continue cycling with his Greninjas. But, you know, you can't always be picky. So
Yeah, and Tapu Fini's GX attack, Tapu Storm, is the only GX attack in the deck aside from Tapu Heal, but obviously you can't use Tapu Heal, so you kind of just want to put the Tapu Fini in there just so you can utilize the fact that you have 1 GX attack per game.
Yeah.
And it's also, it is a strong effect that can help swing tempo into your favor.
So I'm curious as to whether Jon's going to Tapu Storm this turn or if he's going to attack with Greninja. So if he attacks with Greninja, he risks losing one of his Greninjas and then only having 1 on the board. But if he retreats with it, he would, you know, almost guarantee 2 next turn unless his opponent had the Guzma. But we saw him discard 1 earlier, so he might not have 1 in his hand. And although he would be using Tapu Storm this turn, even though it's not getting rid of a giant Gardevoir, he would be protecting his Greninjas and basically ensuring that he's getting up to a break. I could see him going either way, attacking with either Greninja or Tapu Fini. I think personally I would prefer the Tapu Fini play just because I want to ensure that I can get my Greninja breaks up on board, because once you do that with Greninja, you should just win. But we'll see what he goes for. Shadow Stitching is still a viable play as well to shut off all the abilities on Sam's side of the field, so we shall see.
Yeah, Shadow Stitching, the one downside to it is that it really doesn't do that much damage if you don't have a choice band on it. It's only going to hit for 40 damage.
Yeah.
And then Gardevoir GX has 190 left. That's going to be really difficult to knock out in the following turns. But it looks like, like you said, Tapu Fini is going to come up here. Tapu Storm, going to shuffle the Gardevoir and all the cards attached to it back into Sam's deck, resetting pretty much everything he just set up that last turn.
Yeah, Sam is not in a good spot, to say the least. With all of his Sylveon's prize, he can't even GX back the Greninjas on his opponent's field. Yeah, Sam is in a rough spot. I don't think he's going to be able to one-shot this Tapu Fini either. So,
no, he brings up the Gardevoir GX. I mean, it has a Flowstone on it, so you can retreat it for free if you want to. You don't need to know what you're going to do yet.
So they have to get rid of the Brooklet Hill, too. Minor issue, but I'm sure they'll realize it in a second. So I like that Sam played the Parallel City. I don't like that Jon got rid of the Froakie. I would have preferred it over the Staryu, although just because I want to be able to ensure that I can continuously, you know, stream my Greninjas. But Starmie is pretty important for the deck too, so I'm sure there's some logic behind that I'm just missing. Looks like Sam's using Premonition, seeing what he's trying to get.
That looks like a whole lot of energies.
Yeah.
A Tapu Lele and Choice Band.
Yeah, in his hand. So we'll see what he wants to get off the Gallade Premonition to draw with Octillery, because it looks like he doesn't have much resources besides for energy and tools.
But he can attach once. He can attach a tool, so he can draw at least 1 or 2 cards off of the Octillery, which means he can draw a supporter if he wants to. He can draw potentially maybe. I mean, you just bench the rolls, right? So you can't candy that this turn.
Yeah.
You already you have the energy attachment you need, so really you're just looking for a supporter and then a way to get Gardevoir next turn.
Yeah, you hope your Gardevoir survives. It should survive. I can't really see any way that Greninja can knock it out without having breaks in play. So yeah, I think Sam's in a really good, Jon, excuse me, is in a really good spot still. Sam goes in Abyssal Hands, goes up to 5, and he's just going to attack for 90. Okay, let's see what Jon does. I saw a Evo Soda in his hand earlier, so if he doesn't have both breaks in hand, he'll use that to evolve his other break, or potentially Starmie. He's going to use Rescue Stretcher. Let's see what he gets back. Another break. There we go.
And there we go. Double Giant Water Shuriken can come out this turn if he wants to, and that Starmie is going to allow him to discard a card from his hand, get 2 basic energies back from his discard, which guarantees that Giant Water Shuriken will be able to happen this turn no matter what.
Yep. We'll see what Jon does. It looks like he's going to thin his deck with Evo Soda.
Oh, he's discarding it.
Discarding it with Evo Soda. Starmie's ability, excuse me. Yep, okay, so it doesn't look like he's going to play the Sycamore in his hand this turn. He's probably going to save it. Going to go for some Giant Water Shurikens and start Shadow Stitching.
Yeah, it seems like he discarded the 2 waters to maybe do 120. He might just be knocking out the Gardevoir this turn. If he doesn't.
I don't think he can.
Oh, no. Okay, he targeted down the
Yeah, he knocked out the
Eevee,
Eevee, which was a good idea. Although I'm sure he's realized at this point that Sylveons are prized, but it's still a smart idea because that is the threat. You don't want him to draw it off the prize and just evolve it and then threaten you next turn with a plea, because Sam still have it, or ensuing turn, excuse me, with a plea, not next turn probably, because Sam hasn't used his GX attack yet. And yeah, he just goes for a Shadow Stitching.
Yeah, this is going to be 40 damage. Shut off all of Sam's abilities. No more Secret Spring. No more Octillery. And also no more Premonition. Sam has a lot of abilities in the deck.
No Tapu Lele either.
Yeah, that Shadow Stitching really is detrimental to Sam's setting up potential.
Yeah, for sure.
But he does have supporters in hand.
Yep, grabs a Curlia off of his Ultra Ball, and then he's going to Sycamore. So even if he gets a double colorless, he's still not going to be able to knock out this Greninja. So just decides to attach his Fairy Energy in hand and not discard it. I like that play a lot. And then just goes ahead and Sycamores. And yeah.
Yeah, we're just going to see an Infinity Force coming down for 120 damage. That is not enough to knock out Greninja Break. Sam does not look like he is in a great position. He's facing double Greninja Break and a Tapu Fini, which already used the GX attack, so it's pretty irrelevant. Now,
to snipe the Ralts.
But yeah,
like that.
These Giant Water Shurikens are just going to come in like
they're gonna decimate his board. He's just gonna. He already got back the Espeon with his Super Rod. So as soon as one of these Greninja Breaks dies, he's gonna set up everything on Sam's field, just get devolved and just die. And he only has 4 prizes left. There are 4 Pokemon on the field that can be devolved. It's not looking good for Sam.
I mean, if Jon wants to, he can just Shadow Stitching to deal 40 damage to the Gardevoir. He can Giant Water Shuriken a bench Curlia, and then, like you said, devolve everything down to Ralts and get multiple knockouts. He could even Giant Water Shuriken the Gallade.
Yeah, I think
he wants
Giant Water Shuriken the Gallade this turn because it's already ensured that it was used with a rare candy, so there's a Ralt underneath. And if you put it on the Curlia, it can be Ace Roll it up, and it would just be useless. Like, you can put it on next turn, I guess. And actually, no, I take that back, because then if you Ace Roll it back, the Ralts would just be knocked out. So I take that back. I was wrong. Both would probably be a fine play.
Having a bench Ralts here at all is, I mean, it's not a thing you can do.
Yeah, they're done. He can't get any more Gardevoirs out on the field. Yeah,
and there we go. Jon is going to put 60 onto the Curlia. This is setting it up to get devolved here. And Sam, this is like one of his last Gardevoirs as well after the active one gets knocked out.
Yeah, looking at the time that's left in this game, almost half of the round has gone by. If I were Sam, I would start considering scooping because you're really not going to win a long game against Greninja. And you really need as much time as you have as you can have to win 2 out of 3 games. You really just need to. If I were Sam, I would really consider scooping here. I don't see a win con for him anymore.
You only have 22 points in this position. What do you think top cut is generally at a regionals of this size?
So I want to say it was like 33, 34 for Fort Wayne, which was 800 people. So it'll probably be around that, maybe a little bit less, so 32, 33. He probably needs to win out here. So I understand why he wants to play it out because he doesn't want to give up any losses. But I really think,
but in order to win, like you cannot tie. Sam needs to win 2 games. He cannot tie this game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're both out. Both players cannot tie.
705 would put them at 26 points with 2 rounds left. 32, they might be able to make it at that. But I think a tie would definitely be disadvantageous for them for sure. So Sam attaches a double colorless to his Gardevoir, and it looks like he's just going to take a knockout. So he can't Tapu Fini back this Gardevoir, but I don't think he really minds because he can.
I don't know. It's looking like Sam can definitely pull out this game if Jon cannot develop another Greninja onto the board.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want him to get rid of it.
Oh, the Froakie earlier?
Yeah, I mean, the Starmie has been helpful for him, but, like, having just Greninjas be able to recycle, because he hasn't gotten a splash energy down.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that he plays 4 of, and we have not seen a single splash energy yet.
Yeah, so he's had issues recycling his Greninjas. So maybe I'm wrong, and Sam does have a win con potentially on board.
Yeah, if Jon can't get out Greninja breaks,
yeah,
I mean, how is he going to win the game?
Things could change pretty quickly. So let's see what he does. He puts another giant water shuriken on the other Gardevoir, and yep, okay, so it looks like he is going to go for the devolve play. Okay, so he's going to use Starmie's ability to get rid of the Ultra Ball, get back to 1 energy. Definitely good getting rid of useless cards like that. You're not going to use Ultra Ball for the rest of the game. Maybe Jon ends this turn, because N is not going to be helpful for him for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And yeah, Sam has a pretty big hand.
He does. And he also sees the Espeon EX onto the board now, so he's aware of Jon's strategy now.
Yeah, he put it in the discard pile earlier. He Ultra Balled it. So if Sam was paying attention, he should have seen it there and should be preparing for it, which I think he was by evolving his bench Gardevoir through a Curlia, just because he knew that he can't just rare candy through it. But even though he knows about it, there's not much he can really do in this instance. Like
no.
He will get access to Gallade and Octillery next turn and Tapu Lele because he won't be Shadow Stitching. Because it looks like he's telegraphing the Espeon play. Like, I'd be very surprised if he didn't go for that this turn. So he will get his abilities back, but he won't be able to knock out the Espeon. And unless he, like, draws a Guzma and a DCE, like, I don't really see how Sam wins. But let's see what he gets.
I mean, there really is no out to victory if both of your Gardevoirs get knocked out here. You could take a prize on the Greninja break, but how do you actually win the game after that?
Well, Feeney has 90 damage, and Starmie is a pretty easy prize with Gallade. But, yeah, he didn't draw anything off of the end. This game looks over.
Yeah, even if you take the Feeney prize and the break prize off of Guzming up back-to-back, like, by attacking with Tapu, like, it's just so hard to take that last prize after that. I don't think it's possible. And how many, man, it's just so rough.
Yeah. He, like, his hand is just full of evolutions and energy and, you know, not great cards. So, I'm not. I think this game's just over. I know I've been saying that for the past 5 minutes, but I really can't see any way for Sam to come back and win this. It looks brutal.
Yeah. I mean, I think Sam's done the math on whether or not a tie is beneficial to him in any way whatsoever.
Definitely.
So him not scooping tells me that he's okay with a tie here. Feels like this matchup may not be favorable for him. He feels like, okay, if I play out the rest of this game and leave no time for a game 3, I'm more likely to make top cut by getting a tie here than I am by scooping now and winning 2 more games after this. Which is still pretty difficult given the fact that there's, like, even if he had scooped 10 minutes ago, like, these matches are going on for a very long time. These decks need to set up.
Game. Yeah, this is a long game.
Infinity Force is only doing 90 here. That he could try to do double GX knockout if he can set it up like that. He hit the Candy Gardevoir. He does have to deal with this Greninja break, but can he take the 2 GX and EX knockouts before Greninja can knock out this Gardevoir?
You know, actually, I take back what I said earlier about Sam not having any win cons. I actually do think it's possible for him to win. Just because Jon hasn't been... This Parallel City's been really effective against Jon. He hasn't been able to hit his field blowers to be able to get rid of this, so he hasn't been able to bench any more Froakies to get some Greninjas out and play. Sam does have 4 prizes, so it might be a while for him until he is able to, you know, win the game. But with, you know, he has win on board if Jon isn't able to keep up the pressure with his Greninjas. So I guess this is closer than I thought.
Yeah, and this Tapu Fini, I mean, it has another attack, right? What does Tapu Fini's second attack do?
Its second attack does 120 damage, snipe anywhere on the field, and you discard 2 energy. And it's for 2 water energy and a colorless.
So he could theoretically power up the Tapu Fini to try to take a one-shot on the Tapu Lele after Guzming it up by putting like a water shuriken on it
Yeah.
or something like that. That's another route. I doubt that's going to happen because of how slow it is, but it's something that's there.
It's something that he can definitely pressure. Not this turn because he just played the energy on Feeny, so he needs 2 more turns to do it. But he can just, if he puts a giant water shuriken on it at some point. Oh, and he's finally able to bump the Parallel City. There we go.
Now he has access to 5 Pokemon on the bench. He can finally start playing the game it was meant to be played.
Yeah, it might be too little too late, though. Maybe Sam has pulled out this rough matchup and turned it into a favorable one. Or at least in this match, I guess. It's certainly not a favorable matchup, though, by any means. But Sam's definitely doing a good job here. I've given him a lot less credit than he deserves because this match is really close.
Yeah, from the way it looked earlier, it seemed like Sam was just going to get steamrolled by the Greninjas, but he ended up finding the candies, finding the Gardevoirs he needed.
Yeah, this is why Sam has been on such an incredible roll, top cutting every single regional he's been to since like last May, I want to say.
Yeah.
Top 8ing U.S. internationals, top 8ing worlds. Like he is a great player, and he's really showing it in this match.
Yeah, when we were out to dinner last night, Sam felt so confident that he was going to get top 8 that he said, if I get top 8 at this regionals, he was going to play something just like completely random. He doesn't know what, but he's just going to effectively throw away the next regionals for no reason whatsoever.
I think he said that when he played Snorlax GX, and then he ended up almost making top 32 with it.
Yeah,
so
he always does that
He
stuff.
can take a pile of garbage and navigate to top 32, it looks like. So
Yeah.
that's the mark of a good player.
He has the Midas touch, dude. He turns garbage into gold.
So it looks like they're having a discussion on stream. Maybe he thinks maybe Starmie's energy or ability was used twice. I'm not sure. We kind of missed that, but it looks like it's been resolved. Just burning the Evo Soda, getting that out of his deck in hand because he's not going to be able to use that because I don't think John's going to be able to get any more.
Yeah, they're still having a discussion here. Not sure what it is about, but it looks like it has to do with that Starmie for sure since Sam keeps touching it.
Yeah. Let's see. It's still John's turn. He's been taking a while here thinking about it. He's going to Field Blower, get rid of the Float Stone. That's fine.
What does John want to do? That's going to be a discard. Get 2 water energies. Where do you put them?
So he's going to retreat, and he is going to start attacking with Greninja. Okay, so he's giving up his Greninja, his last Greninja, it looks like, to get some damage off it. I assume he'll go for the giant water shuriken. Oh, he went for it on the Gardevoir. Okay.
I mean, if he attaches to the Tapu Fini, that's like a checkmate scenario if he hits for 40 here, right? Or if, actually, he could hit for more. He could do the bounce attack. So he could hit for, what, 80?
He doesn't even need to do that. He can Espeon devolve it because he Rare Candy through the Gardevoir. So the Gardevoir is going to die whenever he uses Espeon again. So that Pokemon is gone unless he uses Acerola. But again, he won't be able
to end the game, though, he could actually just knock out the Gardevoir if he chooses to try to power up the Tapu Fini. I mean, that probably never happens, but
it would take a lot for him to be able to knock out the Gardevoir. I think the safer play for him, because he's going to need 2 turns, because he isn't able to attach another energy this turn to the Tapu Fini, and Tapu Fini takes 3 energy.
Oh, okay.
And he doesn't have acceleration. So it's going to be 2 more turns to do that, while Espeon only takes 1 turn next turn with the energy, which you're guaranteed to have with Starmie. So I think Espeon is just the safer play, which John is going for. He'll probably...
Yeah.
I would assume he'll Shadow Stitching just to lock abilities, but no, he's just going for the extra damage. Okay, interesting. I don't think you needed it because I think Espeon is the right play here because you don't want to let him get a giant Lele on the back. Just being able to set up and knock out your Fini, knock out your Espeon, etc. So I think Shadow Stitching there to prevent him from using Secret Spring onto the Lele would have been a good idea, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, this bounce back, dealing more damage, I feel like it sets you up for more options. And I think Sam just concedes here.
Yep.
Why do you think he conceded there? Just because Espeon devolves and then...
Yeah, so the Espeon's going to knock out his last Gardevoir.
Yeah, and then you have no attackers?
He would have had the Lele if he would have been able to power it up, but it looked like in his hand is only one Fairy Energy, and it didn't look like he had another way to either get his hand down to below 5 for Octillery, or to or just didn't have a draw supporter in general. So he wasn't able to power up his Lele enough to respond to a threat next turn when his Gardevoir is gone. So yeah, I see why Sam scooped there. If he had the perfect hand with just more energy, or a supporter to get more energy, he would have had a shot. But unfortunately, not the heart of the cards was not with him that time.
No, that game did not go so well for Sam.
Yeah, and
Jon was able to set up.
Look at how much time is left. Less than 15 minutes in the round,
yeah.
And Sam has to win 2 games to win or 1 to tie. So I think Sam is really hoping that Jon has a patented Greninja Froakie pass kind of game.
Well, one thing Sam prides himself on is when his back is against the wall and he knows the clock is running down, he is able to play at a breakneck pace.
I was going to say, you can already see by his shuffling, like he's definitely hurrying up. Sam knows the position that he's in. He knows that he has to win 2 games in a short amount of time, and he's going to do everything in his power to do that. I don't think he actually, in this scenario, I don't think he's going to be able to go Sylveon, because you really need to just start putting on pressure with Gardevoirs if you can. So I don't know if he's going to be able to afford to just go for Sylveons, because you don't want to get into a long game with Greninja, because you're going to lose it on time. So,
yeah, in this case, the last game went about a half hour at least.
Yeah, having both of his Sylveon's prize was brutal for him, and unfortunately, I don't know if he'll be able to use it this game. We'll see what he decides to go for as his strategy, though. It looks like he started Remoraid, right?
Yeah, and Jon started Staryu, I believe, but he has a Sycamore in hand, so the classic basic Pokemon pass is not going to come into play here.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Oh, he must have top-decked the Ralts. That stinks. Yeah, starting the Remoraid is really not what Sam wants to see here, because he really, like I've been saying, he needs that pressure as soon as possible, and just even having to attach an energy to retreat, that's resources that you can't put on your attacker to start putting on pressure. So Sam definitely did not want to see that Remoraid as his starter, but he's gonna have to work out of it.
Yeah, his hand though, he has the access to turn 1 Bridget if he wants it, with the Ultra Ball for Lele, for Bridget.
I don't think he's going to go for it, though. I think he recognizes that he needs to put the pace up, and I think he'll probably go for a Sycamore here. I'd be surprised if he went for a Bridget.
Yeah, it looks like he put the N to the front, that perhaps he doesn't want to discard the resources in his hand, and he values that over drawing 1 extra card. We'll see what he chooses to do here, and it looks like he does put the Sycamore to the top now. Still going through the deck, seeing what's prized, making sure that he did not prize both Sylveons for a second time.
Yeah.
That would be pretty awful for Sam.
Can't take too much time, though. The clock is ticking.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised he's taking so long searching his deck. I thought he would just immediately just get it, go, and do it. But
and he chose to go for the end. He didn't want to get rid of the Curly and the Rare Candy, which makes sense. I think I would have gotten rid of it just because you really have to put the pressure on, and you just can't afford to. You just need to see as many cards as possible, I think.
What if Sam just knows that this N is going to be the one? Jon's just going to draw 6 dead cards, and he's going to pass with the Staryu active and just lose the game.
Well, I guess Sam would be a wizard then.
He's a wizard. Sam.
I did see Sam plan a strategy, I want to say round 5 of Swiss yesterday, where he literally only won the game if he had a 0-card hand, if he got an energy off his prize or a Guzma, and then the other one off of his top deck, and he got them both and won the game. So clearly he knows something that we don't, because he goes for those strategies and they work. So
it's called playing to win.
Exactly. It's called a game of skill right there.
Sam plays to win the game, and he wins a lot.
Yeah, he does. So Jon's going to Ultra Ball, get rid of a Sycamore and an N. Probably just going to get a Froakie. I don't see why you would get anything else. The great thing about Staryu, or this Staryu, even though it has 40 HP, it has free retreat, so he doesn't need to worry about retreating that at all. He can just start putting his energy on his Froakies, and Sam really isn't threatening much this turn, unless he gets like a Rare Candy, Gardevoir, Energy, Guzma, DCE as well to like knock out the Froakie.
Right, like Secret Spring plus DCE.
Sam needs a really strong hand here to be able to get a knockout. So I think you're pretty safe to put an energy on your Froakie on the back. So I think that's probably what he's going to go for. If he can get a Brooklet Hill as well, that would be great just to ensure that he gets the Frogadier next turn. Or another Ultra Ball, that would be good too.
Ooh, you can see it. You can see Sam looking at his watch. He knows Jon's taking his sweet time. Yep. He knows that there's only about 10 minutes left in the round.
Yeah.
And he is probably starting to get frustrated in his head. He's like, come on, man. We only get 10 minutes. I need to win this game, otherwise I lose the match.
Yeah. Okay, and he just passes. Okay, so it didn't look like.
Oh, he discarded supporters though, right?
Yeah, he probably has resources in his hand that he didn't want to get rid of, like maybe a Frogadier with an energy. So he is
wow!
going for it, and he got it.
And he got it. He got the Gardevoir. He got
so
the secret string. Oh
he
my
had
gosh!
Everything that he needed. Okay.
Wait.
I'm surprised that he went with the Tapu Lele and not the Gardevoir.
If Jon doesn't have another basic, if he ends and he doesn't get another basic, he loses.
Yeah. He needs
this
a
is going to be
Hill.
game over. Sam saw the lines. He knew.
My goodness,
he end Jon into the hand that would make him lose the game, even though he could have technically played a supporter. Sam is a wizard.
I really don't understand, though, why Sam started attacking with Lele instead of Gardevoir. Like, there's just no reason to attack with Lele in the situation. Gardevoir does more damage in every aspect. You're not really threatened by a Shadow Stitching or anything. Like, you don't need...
Why would you question a wizard? He is clearly
okay, you're right.
more intelligent than we are. He is just on another level. Do not question him.
He's going to get another Guzma here. Just watch. Oh, yeah, he's got the Lele for the Guzma. So unless he gets another Froakie, it looks like he's going to win this. Or he's in a really strong position. I don't want to say win this game, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it looks like just Froakie gets benched here. Does Sam have another Guzma?
He has the Ultra Ball for Lele, so as long as all the cards are in there, he has it.
Yeah, I mean, if he didn't prize his Lele's, he's got this.
Yeah.
And it looks like Sam is just finding the tap. Oh, no, he's getting the Octillery.
Interesting. Okay.
Maybe he feels like if he sets up Octillery, he will be so far ahead once he takes the Staryu knockout that it will not matter. Or he doesn't have the Lele in his deck.
Yeah, that would be the only reason to make that play, because it doesn't make sense to me to not just ensure the Guzma play there. It's such a strong play. Your opponent can't get Greninja until Frogadier until turn 4 now if you do that. So
I mean, either the Leles or the Guzmas are most likely prize here. We can't see the prizes, so we do not know. But Sam is going to play Professor Sycamore here. Discard his hand, draw 7. He's looking for more Ralts. He's looking for more ways to get Gardevoir in the future. He finds a Fairy Energy. Secret Springs onto the Gardevoir and hits with Tapu Lele, knocking out the Staryu. Jon promotes Froggy, no.
Okay, so he is going to get the water duplicates. He has a couple turns behind, but he is going to stabilize at this point. With 7 minutes left, that's really all Jon needs. He just needs to run out the clock. That's his win con right now.
The squad is coming in hot.
The squad is coming in hot?
Squad! Yeah. Dude, Frogadier.
Oh, the Frog Squad, okay.
The Frog Squad, bro.
I can't believe I missed that reference. Huh.
Come on, man.
I'm slacking. I'm sorry.
Actually, the squad doesn't exist. There's only 2.
Oh, well, that's not
sad. That's not much of a squad.
Not much of a squad.
That's more like a trio.
The Frog Musketeers. I don't know. I'm trying. I'm sorry. It's not great. You'll have to deal with my bad puns and jokes for 7 more minutes. So Sam goes for the Sylveon this turn, evolves it, goes for Rare Candy Gardevoir.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he had the Lele. He has Lele Guzma in hand. I don't understand why he didn't go for that. That was just.
Yeah. Well, he already used a supporter, right?
No, I'm talking about last turn. Like they were in his hand.
Oh,
like,
he had the Lele.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Unless
mean, maybe
got
he
it
just
off the prize, maybe. But
okay, I think that was the case.
It must have been, yeah.
That must have been the case, but this Lele is
yeah. This Lele's gonna hurt.
It's doing
so it's gonna get knocked out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's doing 120 damage to the Frogadier. Can Jon find Greninjas? I mean, even if he does, he's not doing enough damage to the Lele. I think Sam is attaching to this Lele so much to set up a knockout once the Greninja attacks it. Because, I mean, obviously once Jon gets a Greninja, you have to start attacking. You have to do something here, right?
Yeah, so Jon is playing the clock here. It looks like, honestly, this, he's not really making a move.
Yeah, you can see Sam be like, all right, you make a play.
Ross, come on. Sam practices with Ross a lot, so he knows
I'm aware.
what a slow player looks like.
These are my teammates.
Yeah, he doesn't want to deal with that right now, and it looks like that's what Jon's going for. Because I think Jon's realized that he's not going to be able to win this game, and he's just trying to win on time. I know Jon has a watch too. He knows the time constraints.
It's actually so funny because Ross doesn't do it intentionally. He's just naturally a more methodical player.
Yeah.
So even when we're playtesting together, when Sam and Ross and like we're all in the same room, we're playtesting, Sam will literally harass Ross about him playing slow during practice.
Testing. Hey,
which is hilarious.
Practice makes perfect, so he can slow play during the tournaments, right?
No.
Oh, and he's going for the bubble stall here. Okay, I
Yeah.
like this play. We know he has the Guzma in hand, so it doesn't work, but I do like Jon playing to his outs.
Yeah.
Even though it's not going to work, he is making the correct play here. So he's going to Guzma, grab that Greninja, put it up in the active. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, no, it's not a knockout. Sam did the math wrong. It's only 120.
Oh, no. Sam!
Oh, no.
Sam, what are you doing? He knows. He knows he messed up. Oh, man. I have not seen this from Sam ever.
He had the cards to, go down more with Abyssal Hand and try to draw into another energy, and he just...
I mean, he knows. He knows.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He
you can see it in the body
yeah.
language. Sam knows that he messed up.
You never see that from Sam.
His mom would be so disappointed in him.
Daddy would be so disappointed, too.
This was... This was
Jon's
very
going for another bubble. If he hits
uncharacteristic.
Oh, tails. Darn. Okay, so let's see. So he just sycamores. Okay, Sam's not wasting any time here. He's just going for just putting more energy on the lily. Now it knocks out a Greninja.
All right, think about this. What if he knew it was not a knockout? And he's just doing this so that way Jon, like, he's just making all these hand motions and stuff like, blah, blah, blah. But meanwhile, time's ticking on the clock. Jon's not paying attention. He's not starting his turn because he's just watching Sam. Big Sam.
Yeah, so Sam's actually in a good spot here. He's down to 2 prizes, so if it does go to time, he will be able to take his last 2 prizes if he has, like, the board position to do so. So he is putting it in a position where he's going to be able to force the tie, which, I don't think either of these players want. No one goes into a tournament wanting to have 5 ties, but... unless you're Ross, I guess.
No. Oh, my God. It's never ending with this kid.
But yeah, Sam is in a good spot to force this tie, which, coming out of the last game, I think he'll take it.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way for Jon to actually win this game, right?
Oh, no, definitely not.
Sam has a monstrous setup.
Sam needs to really break off of this end. And hope, like, if Jon doesn't get a Shadow Stitching off to stop his Octillery, like, he's just going to be able to draw back to 5. And he kind of needs to do more damage just to get this Lele off the field. So I'm not sure what Jon's win con is besides for time stalling.
I mean, that is the win con.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for others to see if there is another way for him to win, but I think that's like the only possible way. Yeah, I think that's what Jon has to go for here.
Mm-hmm. Look at his hand.
Yeah.
Not many options. Splash energy coming down onto Greninja. We are going to see a Shadow Stitching, most likely.
Okay. Oh, that's a really good top deck. So now if he puts it on the Gardevoir, he'll be able to basically knock out anything, even if time is called. So that's a really big top deck there. He did go for the Shadow Stitching, so he can't use Octillery, but that's fine. He's just going to knock it out with Lele. And he's got 1 prize left with 2 minutes to go. Jon's definitely taking his time there with the draw, trying to waste as many precious seconds as he can with all of his moves.
Yeah, if he ends up like conceding this game or something, there's a chance that Sam can just
donk
him or something like that. So he definitely wants to get this as close to time as possible.
Yeah, if he can get time called while this game is going, that would be ideal for him, as they wouldn't be able to set up for Game 3. But if it starts, or if it's during shuffling, I don't believe. I don't believe you set up for Game 3 if time is called in between Game 2 and Game 3 while you're shuffling. I'm not 100% on that rule, but I believe that's how it's done.
Earlier we had that situation come up, and the players did take the 3 turns.
They did? Okay.
Yeah.
So that would not be ideal for Jon because he could actually lose there just from Frozen
I mean, the odds of that happening are so low. Most likely Sam won't even care to do that. He'll just be happy with the tie.
You might as well go for it. If you have the opportunity to win a game, you go for the win. So I think Sam would go for it, but it's not a realistic win scenario. Like, you're really hoping that he just Froakie passes, which it does happen with Greninja, but you can't expect it. So.
And here it
And
looks
he's
like
gonna go
John's
for an
just going to end.
Yep, John's just playing as many cards as he can to just stall the time. He just doesn't want this to go to a game 3 or anything. He just wants it to end right here.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Drawing one card for Sam, which is likely irrelevant because Guzma can't be used to stall in the active spot, like to trap. What can you even trap here? Like Gardevoir active? Like.
Basically, the only way he wins is if he goes Froakie bubbles for 2 turns in a row, or during Sam's +3 turns, and Sam can't Guzma.
That is actually an out here now that time has been called.
Yep, time has been called.
Bubble for the win.
2 heads in a row with no Guzmas on Sam's side of the field. It's possible.
That would be insane.
He does have Octillery to be able to draw, so he might be. I think he's used 2 Guzmas. I want to say. Sam plays how many Guzma? Let's see.
He plays 3.
He plays 3, so he has 1 more potentially. So he does have Octillery to be able to draw it. He has a Sycamore in hand. That was his 1 card that he got. That's incredible. So he.
I mean, this is just very smart play
he's not
from
going for it. Okay.
John if he had gone for the bubble here, but it looks like
he might not have gone the water energy. So
I don't actually think Sam can knock out this Greninja break without another energy.
3, 4, 5. That has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if he gets another DCE or 2 energy off of the Sycamore and Abyssal hand, he just has the game.
Mm-hmm.
He has 2 turns to get it too.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna happen, right?
You say that now, we'll see.
True.
He's got
true.
really good odds to get. Oh, there's the DCE. Yep,
there's the DCE.
And
Sam has got it. That Greninja break is, unless we did the math wrong.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
Reaffirming our math skills there. Nice.
This is some big boy math, Eric. We can do it.
So it looks like they're going to sudden death, game 3, +3 turn. Not sudden death, excuse me.
No, I don't think so. I'm not sure what's happening here.
I guess we'll see.
I mean, it looks like
it looks like they're just packing up.
Is packing up his stuff. I don't think Sam's gonna bother. Maybe
and it looks like
changed the rules from the Swiss of yesterday. Yeah, it's a tie. But I'm not sure. Yesterday they were allowed to take their turns.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know the rules 100% there. I would just.
Right, but yesterday they let Jimmy and.
During game 2. Okay, yeah. So time was called during game 2, so it wasn't in between the games, so they didn't set up the next game for +3 turns.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so that makes sense. Okay, so what did you think about that matchup?
I mean, it looked like Sam was like winning, and then the Frogs, they kind of came back there because John had such a bad start.
Yeah,
at the beginning, he was kind of just struggling to do anything, and then he kind of stabilized a little bit. I thought Sam would just steamroll that second game, honestly, but John was able to. I mean, he wasn't close to winning, but he brought it back to the point where he could just use up enough time on the clock that it prevented a game 3 scenario in which Sam is way more favored than John is to actually win the game.
Yeah, definitely. I was really impressed with Sam game 1 in what looked like a basically unwinnable scenario. Sam really pulled it out and like forced John to like think and hit all of his outs that he needed to continue to win the game. He didn't just give up and fold and concede like I was saying he should. So I was really impressed with how
Shame
Sam,
on you. This is
why
you're here and Sam is over there winning. Or in this case, tying.
I concede too early, I guess. But yeah, Sam played really well. I really liked the Espeon tech in John's deck. It really made that Gardevoir matchup like really strong. I'm not sure how it goes if he played Giratina, but we're not. We won't know about that because it wasn't in Sam's deck list. But yeah, I thought it was a really indicative series of how the match is supposed to go. If Greninja sets up, Greninja's going to win. But if Gardevoir, just puts on a lot of pressure and Greninja can't set up, Greninja's just going to roll over. And that's the inherent risk that you take with Greninja. And, we saw both sides of the coin in the series. So
yeah, very interesting.
Yep.
Look forward to watching more. Here we have the top 32 total deck points by player. So this is championship points earned by decks. We have Gardevoir earning over 100. Points on their records. Okay. So that means like 3 for a match win type thing. This is from, I believe, top 32.
Yeah, it was the round previous to this one, so it's through round 11 of statistics. So no championship points, but basically this just show you how the decks are doing.
Right. So Sam has like what is it?
705 would be 26.
26 points right now with Gardevoir. So there's about 175 total match points with Gardevoir, which it basically just says the Gardevoir is doing the best out of any deck right now.
Yeah, it's like, you know, some of it might be a little bit flawed in that, you know, it's if you have more decks of that, like, thing, you know, if there's like 12 Gardevoir decks, even if they're all doing bad, there's still going to be a lot of points just because they all have like 20 base points. But so it could be a little bit misleading, but yeah, it definitely looks like Gardevoir and Galistopod are the ones doing the best today, which doesn't surprise me. I think it was a pretty accepted thing that Gardevoir and Galistopod were like the 2 best decks coming into this tournament, so I'm not surprised to see them doing well. I'm surprised that Decidueye had 2 players playing it. Decidueye was definitely an under-the-radar deck. It definitely lost a lot with Forest of Giant Plants being banned, but it's still a very strong deck, as Andrew Mahone is showing, and I don't know who else is playing it, but I know
we actually saw it on stream a couple of times.
Oh, okay. Do you know if they're only playing it with Ninetales, or is there other versions of Decidueye?
It was played with Ninetales.
Okay, yeah. I think that's a really good way to play the deck. I mean, it was the strongest version, you know, in the Nats and Worlds format. So it only makes sense that it would transfer over. I am surprised that Drampa Garb is doing so well. It's a fine deck. It'll always be a fine deck. It's like it kind of reminds me of the Eviltal this format, but like a little bit worse because Garbodor isn't as strong right now because, you know, without VS Seeker, you know, and without aggro decks, it's not. A lot of decks aren't as reliant on items, and a lot of decks right now are just beefy stage 2s that don't use a ton of items to set up. So Garbodor isn't like super strong right now, so I'm kind of surprised that deck is doing better than Volcanion.
So Sam actually had a conversation with Tord, who is arguably the best Drampa Garbodor player in the world. I mean, he won Worlds, right? Or
he won U.S. Internationals.
He won the Internationals, sorry, my bad. And he talked to Sam Friday night, or not last night, when Sam was trying to figure out what to play, and Tord told him, only play Drampa Garbodor if you really love the deck. Otherwise, going with Gardevoir is going to be your better option here for this tournament. And it looks like Sam took Tord's advice and just opted to shy away from the Drampa Garb, and it looks like he's doing pretty well for himself here today.
Yeah, he's got another top 32 under his belt, so I'm sure he's not complaining.
Oh, yeah, he's in a good spot. But that's going to do it for us. Round 13 is done. We will be back in probably